Evil Dead has been a franchise that's been near and dear to me for a very, very long time. When I saw the first one back when I was just a kid, it scared the bejeebus out of me. And I even rolled with it when it started to lean more into comedy after Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. And then when the remakes came out, I think in like 2013, I liked how they kind of went with the horrifying version that the original Evil Dead was. So, I like the funny parts of Evil Dead. I like the scary parts of Evil Dead. It's a great franchise, and like I said, I'm a huge fan. So when I found out that Inner Geek in Huntington was having a comic contest where you basically draw a cover to a comic book that has a blank cover and you win $100 gift card to the store, I needed that. So I went to the store and I was looking around and I saw, like a Batman cover. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like Batman. I saw a couple other things like a Vampirella. But then I saw a cover that was kind of blank, but you could see, some of the blank covers had titles, but this one was just like, oh, there's like a piece of paper over it. But you could see through the piece of paper. It said Army of Darkness Forever. And I was like, that's what I'm picking. No question at all. I just grabbed that and was like, yes, please. So then the question becomes, well, what do I draw from the cover? Well, a good suggestion might be to read the comic first. Okay, dokie. I found a bunch of blank ones, but I could kind of make out. So this one said Army of Darkness Forever. I'm very excited to make a cover for this. Let's see what the art looks like at first. I could go with the art style. I could go with a completely different art style. They said I could do whatever I wanted, but they kind of prefer it be related to the subject matter, the blank cover. Alrighty. Oh, okay. Oh, very different. Okay. So this is not exactly the art style I was expecting for a Evil Dead comic, but it's not what I wasn't suspecting. I know that makes zero sense, but it looks pretty good. Definitely different than my style, but closer than what I thought it was going to be. I think this will work out beautifully. I'm going to read this comic first, and then I'm going to work on my cover. So I did that. And of course, Ash was in the comic. Thankfully, I mean, I had never read the Army of Darkness comics before, but I would really hope that Ash would be in them. Uh, you know, because like, why wouldn't you? Ash is fantastic. So obviously, I'm just like, okay, I need to make Ash. So I grabbed my tablet and opened up Fresco. I forgot the name of the drawing program I use. I promise, I'm actually a professional artist. But I started drawing Ash. He's got his foot on top of a couple deadites that he had just messed up with either his shotgun or his chainsaw. Whatever one you want to imagine, he's messed them up. He's standing proud above them, and he's given his classic line, "Groovy." I actually spent a really long time working on it, trying different things, seeing what worked, what didn't work, what kind of setting would be good, seeing what kind of background I should do. Like, is it in the daytime? Is it at night? Probably going to be at night. Like, realistically, like I didn't. But I spent a lot of time on it trying to get it right, and I'm really happy with what I ended up with. Now, I checked the rules, and when I bought the comic, they specifically told me that digital art is allowed. Traditionally, people would use traditional media and draw on the blank cover itself. But like I am a pretty good digital artist. That's like mostly what I do. So I was like, oh, I could probably make my best work digitally. And they were like, as long as you provide some sort of proof that it's not AI, you should be good to go. And I was like, I make a time lapse of just about everything I draw on my tablet. And they're like, perfect. So I had that. After I finished the cover, I decide to call them and be like, hey, how do I exactly turn this in? So I just got off the phone with Inner Geek in Huntington, and I asked if the blood and dismembered deadites that I have on the cover so far count as excessive gore, and they were like, "Oh no, that's totally fine. We just kind of had like a real weirdo submit something that was really bad at one point." So I do have questions about what that was exactly, but they also told me something else. When I asked, so do I just like get a printout of the digital picture and include it with the envelope in the comic? And they're like, oh yeah, that's something we probably should have included in the rules. It's gotta be on the cover of the comic itself. Not sure how I'm going to get a digital drawing onto the cover of an already made comic. Unless I use like Elmer's glue or something, but the comic has to be in perfect condition. So this seems impossible. Luckily, I work at a print shop. Well, more accurately, the building I work in has a print shop that I help them with sometimes. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go ask the head of the print shop if that's something that they can do. Because if not, I gotta go traditional, which means I wasted all my time doing that digital drawing. And it's a lot easier to fix mistakes on digital art than it is traditional art. But let's see. It is not possible, at least where I work, at the print shop, to print a cover photo onto an already made comic book without damaging the book, which is another criteria. Okay, so maybe this is fine. You know what? A lot of my best horror stuff is actually done with traditional mediums, so I could salvage this. My wife actually had an idea where I could print off the digital work I did and then just kind of like trace that. Don't know if I'll do that or not. I might just wing it. We'll see. But then I decided before I jump into it, after mulling in my head, accepting the fact that I'm going to have to redo this whole work of art, I'm like, maybe I can sell some prints of the digital piece. It still does look cool. You know, I was getting some ideas for stuff I can do traditionally that might be a little bit different than the digital piece. I decide to call again. I speak to a different worker at Intergeek, and they said, yeah, just taping it to the front's fine. So, I'm not positive which one's okay, but it seems to be that taping it would be okay. I kind of confirmed that, you know, like I wanted to make sure, like, okay, well, the last person told me this, and now you're telling me this, so like, which one? And they're like, no, taping it, you should be all right. And I was like, okay. But then I have to decide, do I want to go traditional or do I want to go digital? I was having a bunch of ideas for the traditional art, but the digital art already looks really cool. I've had a couple friends tell me, like, that looks super sick. I'm like, okay, maybe I should just stick with the digital. Then I decide I'm just going to do a traditional work of art anyway. And keep in mind, if I do traditional, I have to do it directly onto the comic. So if I mess up, I mess up. There's no taking it back. So I do the traditional art on the comic itself. I start painting it. I spend, again, hours and hours and hours working on this. Good chicken.
That's good.
Well, who knows what I could have safe and sound. But it was good for me, it was good for me in my brain. It was all for me, it was all for me. Keep me sane and keep my head down, keep my chin up high. What's that even mean? Does it feel like I'm really alive? I don't think
I'm using a mixture of paint, Posca markers, which is still paint but marker form, colored pencils, a little bit of ink here and there. And then I realized after I'm painting it and the painting's starting to dry that it's kind of making the front part of the comic like curl up, because like, you know, the paint, it spreads like this, and when it dries it kind of constricts it. And anyway, I have to like flatten the book out again. But I think I'm sorry if the mic is weird, if the audio is weird. I'm trying this out. I don't know how this is going to sound. This could sound like total garbage. Anyway, I finished the traditional drawing and I think it looks cool, but it's not exactly how I envisioned it. And like, I know I could maybe do better, but I'm worried about damaging the comic more, and like time's running out to turn this in. And so I can't decide. Do I go with the digital and just tape it on the front and hide the traditional, or do I just stick with the traditional? And then another thing I'm thinking is, what if people don't think digital art is real art? So I put a poll up on Instagram and Facebook, basically asking people that question. Hey, if there's an art contest and somebody submits digital art and somebody submits traditional art, which one would you be likely to vote for and why? And I know most artists would say digital art for sure is just as good of an art form as traditional art. It's just a different method. I mean, I believe that, obviously. Like, if you are a professional painter and that's what you specialize in, and then you hop on a tablet with a stylus, you're not going to be as good on there. It's a different medium. Same with vice versa. Like, they both require practice, and, you know, they both definitely take skill, but it appears that the average Joe who's probably going to be voting on this contest does not think that digital art is true art. Some people got digital art confused with AI, and that's another thing. It's like, I mean, obviously I'm submitting a time lapse of me doing it, but like, what if people do think it's AI? So it was a really tough decision. And finally, the time had come for me to turn in the comic. I was getting calls and texts being like, hey, you know, you got to turn this in soon. The contest is about to start soon. The contest is about to start soon. And I'm like, okay. And then I made my decision. I chose the digital art. I taped over the traditional art. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go with this. I got to fight for the medium I do the most. Like, this is a real art form. I think it did end up looking better. And then the contest gets posted. Wah. I don't think the picture that is posted of this does my work justice. I'll be completely honest with you. One, the print came out a little dark. That's not Innergeek's fault. That's, you know, the print. It just came out darker than what it looks like digitally. Then there's a huge glare on the plastic that the comic's in that's covering up a lot of the art. And then they put a sticky note with my entry number over top of the deadite faces. So it's like, it could have looked so cool, and it doesn't. And I'm kind of bummed out about it. And now I'm like, I should have just went with the traditional art. I mean, the contest was still fun. I still got to make some cool Evil Dead art. It's not over yet, by the way. So if you are interested in voting, please go over to the Innergeek Huntington Facebook page. I'll put a link in the description, and vote for my art. I think it's C37. I'll insert it here if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, just scroll down till you find this art, and, you know, just hit the like button. You just react to the one that you're voting for. Comments don't count as votes, but reactions do. So, you know, feel free to vote for mine if you like it. I hope whoever does win, congratulations. There's a lot of really good artists that did submit work. So, I mean, like, I'm pretty proud that all these people are local to my hometown of Huntington, and much love to everyone. Like, best of luck to all of you. And thank you guys for watching. If you go vote for me, thank you very much for voting. I encourage you, even if you don't want to vote for me, vote for someone, because like I said, there's a lot of really great artists, and just whatever you think is best, go vote for them. There's also a kids version as well, like a kids contest. Don't get them confused. Like, mine's not with the children. I know I might not look it, but I'm an adult. But oh my gosh, some of these kids are super, super talented. I had a lot of trouble figuring out who I wanted to vote for on that. But they're so good. Like, it's hard to narrow it down to just one person. Either way, again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks, Inner Geek, for hosting this really cool contest. I will be sure to enter again next year, regardless whether or not I win. If you want to stay up to date on whether or not I win or not, I'll probably post a follow-up short video or something. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. What's your favorite Evil Dead movie? Is Evil Dead Burn good? I haven't seen it yet. All that aside, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Again, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.